How's it going, people? Thanks again for tuning into our content. We try and put out as much content as we can, but we tend to put out what's relevant at the time or what's more important. Today's one is a so-called intel update from Kim when she was being interviewed by Alan James from the Circle of White Light show. Alan James, we've mentioned him before, and we will do a video on him because he tends to follow people that are going to get him more clicks. And of course, he's been around. He used to be a regular with Thomas Williams. Then he stabbed him in the back. Thought, I'll go on to Kim because I'll probably get more clicks. And that's basically what he does. He's a little toe rag. His real name's Alan Meyer. He used to be with another guy called Steve. Can't remember his surname. But he was on the Open Your Mind show. So, anyway, I'm going to be playing 2 clips which I've joined together from that show. It's about project funding today. Now we will also show you something that we archived on our Facebook page back when Thomas Williams was interviewing Kim in 2019. And we got loads of different examples, but we only need to show one. The first one is where she comes out and tells people that project funding is going to be in 2019, well, back in next week or something like that, she said. That's 2019 and today's 2023. And she said the same again years later, where she tells somebody asks a question, and what we'll do is after this interview with Kim, we'll go through some little points about it. I don't want to spoil it all for you. But anyway, first one is a clip from my Facebook page. Like I said, it's an audio file where Kim's telling Thomas that, project funding's coming, and of course years later it hasn't. And I think it was last Sunday was this interview, and she's saying exactly the same thing. Well, anyway, have a listen, and we'll come back with some points.
So, well, I mean, I truthfully hope that in the next couple of days, at the end of this 7-day cycle, that it'll be time to distribute funds for projects, for new technologies. I'd like to see people come up with some great new technologies, which I already know are out there. We see them all over the internet.
Well, okay, listen, we've loads of questions to get through, so I'll try and fly through them and pick out the good ones to answer. Now, obviously you talked about the funding, so you might as well deal with that and get that over with. An email from Simon was sent in, and he wants to know really what the situation is, because you mentioned obviously the funding over a period of time on UNN, and we've talked about the funding, and we had a quick chat about it before we went live, and I said, well, look, the funding will happen, I feel anyway, the funding will happen when it's meant to happen, when Source thinks it's the right time. And for now, we just crack on and do the work what we need to do, because, if the little red hen principle applies, is everybody just sitting around doing nothing going, well, I'm not going to do it, and I'm just going to sit here and wait for the funding to come. Surely these people should be up and doing things and trying to see what they can do while we're waiting for the time when the funding becomes available, rather than sit back and just waiting for the funding to come through. And that's why I kind of penned the little red hen principle, because I can see a lot of people doing that. But what's the update on the funding, and how do you see that, Kim?
Well, as far as the deep state is concerned, and that you've got everything in there from GCHQ, NSA, 15 different militaries like Murkoff and Monarch and other ones you haven't heard of, and and agency people and the CIA and, I mean, we've managed to get to a point that these people do not have anything left in computers. Now, that is not to say that we haven't had some remnants of things that came from others that was brought here that affects quantum computing. Once at some point in time, I'll do an entire show on just how we got here on the financial system, and then maybe people will actually understand what quantum is. I mean, this is an organic quantum system. You don't just go to your ATM and slide a card down, Kim's backside and money comes out her mouth. It doesn't work that way. I have to, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of years of people that have much more superior technologies than we ever did, at least not us here in the public, cleaning up that mess. I would say that by the time, with every light wave that comes in, things become cleaner and clearer and cleaner and clearer. And the lifting of the veils on the gateways in the last few days, last week, has made a huge difference in them being actually able to even affect anything. So even when some of these alternative AIs, and if you're on Telegram, you can see I put a list of the most current list at that time that I posted it of all of the AIs that were affecting your financial system, your telecommunications systems, your, all of the above, sending things through your computers and viruses through your phones, and all of a sudden you become sick. All those things were possible with these different types of AI. So a lot of that has gone away, which was very important, and in my opinion, just as important as money is to us here in 3D. But you can't spend money after you're dead. So I figured, which one? We need to make sure this is done. Number two, in my opinion, based on everything I've seen happen, Source has a day and a time. I'm glad that time wasn't told to me 5 years ago or 10 years ago. I'm glad it wasn't, because if I had, I would have been like, oh, come on now. Yeah. Just like you all think. I mean, I'm human just like you. I think the same thing sometimes, oh, come the heck on. The NSA has got foggy bottom implants. Oh, you're kidding me, and I do this all day long, every day. And not just on the financial side. There's obviously a lot more to what we do here, but, I feel that time is not very far away. A couple of hours from now, I should have more information on that, and I'll report again on Monday on that. But, I only know what I know. And sometimes, like I said, I find out at the last second, oh, do this now, oh, don't do that, run, do this. And, I'm doing the best that I can. I promise you. I'm not trying to starve the world out. I'm not in any way.
I understand that. And I know you're frustrated, because I know you get it from people an awful lot about the funding, and I know you want to just get on with it and have that holiday and have that break and say, right, my job's done and then I'm off. And I get that. But in the meantime, I think people need to crack on and get work, do something productive and get involved, and maybe get involved in community projects or whatever you need to do. Go and do it. And
well, yeah. And we're doing it. We've built UNN. I mean, I remember when I got the download that day a few years ago, 3 years ago, almost to the day. It was actually at the very beginning of May. You need to start a news channel, and I'm like, well, how the heck do you expect me to do that? I'm barely. I'm at the time I was painting. I was doing odd jobs. I was trying to make just enough money to make ends meet, and I still do that. But I'm like, okay, and I had to try to figure it out, and it's had its, twists and turns and bumps and whatnot. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's Source's project. It's God's project. So, whatever has to happen, has to happen. And I do trust in the fact that, if there's a person available to do this or person available to do that, we ask for it. Mm. We go right to the source and ask, we need a person that can do this, this, and this. And then Sunny shows up, or, then we have Real Talk, and now we have several other wonderful people that have joined and started doing videos, and then there's a whole group of people behind the scenes now, and slowly but surely, as we've changed to the new app and done some new things, we've been able to help people out here and there when we can, and people are getting, even if it's just a little bit every month, we're sharing the wealth amongst the people that work there, at least the best way we can, starting from the people that work full time on down, so we've done something with nothing, and just to prove to everyone it's possible. Alan, you do it too with Pay It Forward. We're all doing it, and some of the things that you can do for people don't cost money.
Yeah, true. I'm just a big believer of karma and helping out, whether it's a small thing or, a big thing that doesn't take, money. It might just take energy. I'm a big believer of that because it's good energy. It's just good energy helping out people. And the more we have people doing that, the better.
Okay, so, I mean, someone's emailed in a question and it's quite simple. What's the update on project funding? Of course, Alan has to kind of, we had a little chat before the show. I keep telling people, it's when Source thinks it'll be ready when Source says it should be ready. Of course, Kim, like many things, believes that she gets downloads from Source. So she sits in a chair somewhere and Source connects to her, right, and tells her, start up a news channel, which she has done. I mean, I'm sure they didn't say, you must charge them $9 a month for that, and also sell illegal TV movie streaming as well. And don't forget to piss a load of people off as well by backstabbing them. You don't need to pay people's wages, apart from things like Sunny Gold, who gets tons of money, and Lisa Thompson. Of course, you probably know Thomas Williams has got nothing. He's got nothing. He's still waiting for his $150,000 he was promised from Kim, which was going to come out of the so-called the trust funds. Anyway, so what does she say? So of course Alan asks the question. He kind of butts in with his Source, when Source is ready, and she just goes off on one completely. Doesn't stick to the point. Her response is just kind of gone adrift. Goes on about deep state, military, CIA agencies, quantum computers, and that's organic, and AI, blah 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 blah. Just get to the point, woman. What's going on? The guy just wants an answer. Just get back to the question. Of course, she does in the end, and says exactly what Alan said. Well, yeah, it'll be ready when Source says it's ready. I'll get an update in 2 hours. Basically means she's going to sit back in a comfortable chair, put her feet up, and then sit there, get a connection, do a bit of channeling, and wait for some entity to tell her that it'll be coming on Monday, or something like that. It's crap. I mean, you people are still waiting for project funding. It's been going on for years. It's exactly the same as what went on in Cosmic Voice with Drake, Kent Bailey. Thomas was part of that then. Neil Keane, everyone else. In 2 weeks' time, it's going to happen. In 2 weeks. And then when you ask them, you said this was going to happen then. They'll say, I never give a time. No, you just keep putting the hope there for people, so they keep doing their own work. And of course, Kim on that first clip from 2019 He's telling people to come forward that I've got ideas for new technology. Yeah, what you say, you can patent them and steal them ideas and sell them off as your own? Yeah, we've heard some stories from you, Kim. Taking people's ideas of natural farming, and those people, it was their businesses. But you've adapted them and basically they're your ideas now. It's just crazy how people can think of this. Anyway, that's the video. Have a little think about it, people. But, you know, you're still waiting for project funding. You're not going to get a bean. All she wants is you to keep clicking away on a news network, pay the monthly fee, buy a crappy illegal TV streaming. It used to be buy her t-shirts and hats and God knows what else, bumper stickers. That's how low. I mean, did Source tell you to do that as well? Crazy. Anyway, people, that's it for now. Please like, share and subscribe. It does help the channel and we can get to a wider audience and make sure people stay away from this scammer. Take care now. Bye-bye.